computers. They all have one thing in common. Motherboard, this, power supply, and RAM, which I didn't include into this combo, and RAM. I'm gonna make a computer of all the garbage I have laying around. This is the Amazon case. I just took everything out of it after the video. This is a 500 watt power supply. That's about all I know of it. This is a graphics card that doesn't have a fan, so we're not gonna use that. We're gonna use this, RX 550. Motherboard, which has a Pentium in it. We're not gonna touch this. Instead, I have this, which is the motherboard, I think, from
$150 Amazon gaming computer.
I'm not entirely sure. Then I have an HP Pavilion DVD drive, which is definitely not going to be used. So, let's talk. I have already RAM in here. I think I want to reuse it just because it's easier to reuse, and I don't really want to use my Corsair Vengeance. Next thing on the list, this thermal compound is 8 gazillion years old. I don't know if I want to reuse it, so we're going to attempt to take it out. Wow, that's old. A little bit of isopropyl and an old rag. So we're working with an AMD Phenom on an AM3 socket. Oh my god, this thing's ancient. It's awesome. Am I gonna clean it? Fuck no. I almost put it back in the spot without. Ooh, maybe we are gonna give it a clean. First things first, we need to disconnect this fan. Look at this. HP? Huh? Oh my lord. Much better. Look at that. Ooh. Let's put some paste on there. Get our amazing cooler. Now that thermal paste is put away and it's on our CPU, we can actually get started on building the computer. So let's get started on that. I'm gonna put this to the side here because we already have memory installed. I think I have about 8 gigs. So what we're gonna do, get our case. I wanna get the power supply installed. This is this 500 watt OCZ technology power supply from like 1845. It'll do the job, but we're also gonna have the cable manage. So I'm gonna pop off the front cover and take out all the I/O. Now that all that's out of the way, we can get our 24 pin, shove it through this hole in the top. That also goes for the CPU power, and we're also shoved SATA in there. We also have all these miscellaneous cables, which are gonna have the cable manage. That's fine, we're gonna shove it through the hole as well. Now that all of our cables are in here, and we've got our amazing power supply, flip it so our fan is facing down because we don't have any line up our power supply with the top. Flip our case over like this. I notice it's a bit bent here. We're gonna get these pliers. I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna straighten it out. That's probably the best I'm gonna get it. There you go, power supply is half installed. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this cable, which is our CPU. I'm gonna shove it in that hole. Get our 24 pin, shove it through this hole. And then for our SATA power, we're gonna shove it through this hole. And then for all of our miscellaneous cables, I wanna kinda get them out of the way, but it looks like we're not gonna get that away easily. So we're gonna leave them alone for now. Motherboard. Motherboard's on a stud. We're gonna get motherboard screws. 2 screws should do it. Because of this cheap Chinese board, we can only shove in 2 screws. We're gonna plug in our CPU. Plug in our 24 pin. We have this over here for our amazing SSD that we're gonna install. Now that we have all of that installed, we gotta deal with all of this. Not really looking forward to it, I'll tell you that much. I think what I might do is do that, and then because of this Chinesium case, I gotta use a zip tie as a bolt. That's fantastic. That'll work. There we go. So we don't have any bolts on the top. I have zip ties. Like, I don't know what else to say except that's totally fine. Gotta go plug in this fan now. Right there. There we go. So now, gotta get the SSD in here. SSD has a spot on the bottom. I think I'm gonna put that there. Found some of these screws in my screw pile. We're gonna use them. Before I put this in, I wanna go hook it up. For the SATA cable, I have this awesome, cool orange one. Straight part, come like that. Now, you can flip it over. So that's basically how I would want it. I can't do any more. Can't zip tie this anywhere. I don't know, like, because there's no zip tie holes here. Very bad case for cable management. It all fit, and we're gonna lock it in place with these screws here. And I don't gotta ever open the back ever again. Now we have this awesome cable here. I'm gonna try to find a home for it because it's very ugly. This looks really, really good. I like the way it's coming out. Especially because I'm, you know, doing something different. I'm actually trying. So that's a very big factor to all of this. The next thing we gotta do is put that graphics card in. I don't plan to keep this in there because I don't. There's a graphics card. Now I want to go put this piece back in. Need to find a screw that fits these holes. We're going to resort to my favorite method. Zip ties. Simply, we're going to go get this, put it through this hole like so, put it through the hole that it needs to go in, get this zip tie, put it in on this side like so, and now that's it. We're going to go do it for this side as well. It's not exactly what I would want, but it doesn't really matter. The next thing that I should have done before putting this in there is wire the front I/O properly. Let's rewind a bit. Now that, you know, we're back to square one, we're gonna get this thing and route it properly. It's all gonna go through this hole down here, and it's all gonna get cable managed. We're gonna do USB ports later. We're gonna take them out so they don't get jumbled up with our I/O cables. Okay. That's all happy. We're gonna get our front panel audio first, and we're gonna get our USB and plug that in our USB slot. Boom. To make this all organized and happy, we're gonna zip tie it all together. Okay. There we go. This is looking awesome. I love the way this is looking so far. Everything is clean and hidden. 110% is a huge improvement on what we started with. So, let's put this GPU back in and screw it all together. Boom. This computer's fully together. Now realizing I did forget the Wi-Fi card from it, but a little bit of a... Oh yeah. Looks like that ain't getting a screw. Like in a zip tie. Cool. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hey, that was fast. Look at that. All right, so now let's put it together. So we're starting from extremely easy, going down to incredibly difficult. I don't think it's gonna work. So we have geometry dash up first, but I already know it's gonna do that. So we're gonna jump right into Portal 2. I do this all the time. It's just, I already know this thing has it in it. So if you guys look at the top right of the screen, we're getting a fairly high FPS. We're playing this at 1080p native, no DLSS or any of that junk. Running at very high settings. We have double buffered VSync, a 16x filtering mode. Other than that, basically everything's at its highest potential, and this computer is running it perfectly fine. This is not a very high intensity game whatsoever. This game can be run on a potato if you really wanted to, but this really just shows that you can play any game at any price. Kinda, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of surprised that we're playing this at about 186 frames a second, 215 at the maximum. Like, come on, can't go wrong. I want to go try a more difficult game. Let's try BeamNG Drive. I know I always try this game as my go-to just because this game is the hardest game that I own. If I were to try a more intensive game, it would probably be Black Ops 3 or GTA 5, but I already know I'm not waiting 8 hours for that to install. Boom, we're here. As you can tell, 80% of our system memory is used because I'm pretty sure we have a dead DIMM I'm not entirely sure. We're getting about 40 FPS on the loading screen. Let's see what we get in game here. So we're here, and we're not getting good frames. Pretty sure we're running this at all normal settings. We're playing this at ultra. Let's see. Can we move? The answer is yes. Can we look around while moving? Surprisingly, yes. So reflections make the game freak out, especially looking at the sun directly. First person. That took a bit, but we're here. We're moving in first person. That's great. All right, let's go to a more stable resolution. I think we should go to normal and see how that turns out. There we go. We're getting about 30 FPS. In my books, that's playable. 30, 60 FPS in the interior. So if we go outside, it's going to get even better. And yeah, we're getting about 60 FPS in the highs. In the average, getting about 40s. This is not bad whatsoever. And honestly, really surprising. I want to just stress enough that this computer was made with stuff that I found inside of a box. And that's all. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, staying tuned into all my shenanigans with all this garbage that I just find and put together and post on this amazing YouTube channel. As you can tell, yes, we did just craft one of the cheapest gaming computers that I can make, really, by having the price of $3.99. And especially with my amazing expertise with zip ties, this came out amazing. I'm honestly really surprised on how this came out. And honestly, I was thinking about using this as a film rig or using it as an OBS slave or something. One of the two. This is probably one of the best computers I made from a really long time. I'm pretty rusty at this just because I haven't touched it in forever, but hey, looks great. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching and seeing what I can do with a bunch of free parts that I had laying around. Take it easy. I'll see you guys next week.